Hey everybody, it's Alicia Katz-Pollock from royalwise.com. I am not here with Jamie this week. Jamie, my heart goes out to you. My sweet husband and business partner has COVID, so he's not going to be able to join us today. But welcome to live from the Owl's Nest. And Royal Wise Solutions is computer training and support with QuickBooks, Microsoft Office, and all things Apple. So I just got back from QuickBooks Connect, one of the best conferences on the planet, and we were down in Las Vegas for 5 days. I had the honor of doing not one, not two, but four different workshops, 4 different breakout sessions. For my own, I had a workshop called The Big Bank Theory, which was all of my favorite QuickBooks online tips and tricks. And I also had the honor of filling in for Hector Garcia, who had just had vocal cord surgery. And so I did his advanced reporting session. There were over 300 people in that audience. And I think they might have been a little surprised when they got there and saw me instead of Hector. But I think I did a pretty good job as a ventriloquist dummy and got the point across and was able to do justice to Hector and his presentation. For any of you who were there, Hector has actually invited all of you to another session in January where he's going to present the material to put his spin on any of it. And so reach out to Hector and he can get you invited to that session on January 12th. In addition to those sessions, I also got to talk about the new integrations between QuickBooks and MailChimp, which, as you may know, Intuit bought MailChimp earlier in 2022. And I think it's a marriage made in heaven, because if you want to be able to remarket to your clients. And so being able to connect your QuickBooks to your MailChimp allows you to be able to see who your clients are, what they've purchased, how much they've spent. And then you can say, oh, well, I want to send an email to everybody who spent more than $500 with me. And then it'll just make a mailing list that you can then email out. And so it's a great partnership. And the other event that I got to be a part of was the great QBO Advanced Tips and Tricks Riff Off, which they turned into an event. Instead of me just talking about my favorite tips and tricks, we had 2 teams of 3. And on my team was called the Badass Sets. And Liz Scott and Deborah Kilsheimer were on my team. And we recorded 9 different tips and tricks. And then we competed against another team with Deborah Deffer, Carla Caldwell, and oh my God, I'm forgetting her name. Tatiana, and their team. And then we went back and forth, and like we would present a tip and they would present a tip and we would present a tip and they would present a tip. And then the audience gave their roars of approval. And I am proud to say that the Bad Assets won. And so I got a crown. So now not only does my Royal Wise Owl logo have a crown, but I have a real crown to go with my logo. So I am quite honored to be the winner of the first inaugural QBO Riff Off. So that was our fun from QuickBooks Connect. In other news, upcoming, this past week, I was supposed to have my QuickBooks Online payroll class, but in addition to bringing home a crown from QuickBooks Connect, I also brought home the flu. And so I was unable to teach the class. So we've postponed the class until it's next week on December 20th from 10 a.m. to noon Pacific time. And it's a 2-hour 2 CPE course. And we are going to actually do a live QuickBooks Online payroll setup. So like live without a net, we're going to subscribe to it. We're going to create our policies. We're going to add our employees and do a payroll run, all live in product. So Jeff's going to put the link in the discussion for this live stream, or if you're catching it from somewhere else, you can go to royalwise.com and click on the calendar, and you'll see it on December 20th, and you can register for it. The class is only $54, which is, and that 2 hours is going to save you tons and tons of time. When you register for the class, you will get free lifetime access to the video and to the discussion boards as well. So we do hope that you can join us. Now, because I don't have Jamie right here next to me to do his What's New in Apple, we have a special guest with us. So Brenda, why don't you come on up? I would like to introduce everybody out there to Brenda Spandrio, who is a member of the Royal Wise Owls. She's been with me for a really long time. I'm learning how to do QuickBooks Online through our training program. So Brenda, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, as Alicia said, I'm Brenda Spandrio. I am currently in Apache Junction, Arizona, but my bookkeeping business is virtual. So I have clients all over the United States.
And how did you get into bookkeeping?
The roundabout way.
As a lot of people did.
I had a business as a professional organizer. I was the declutter lady, helping people in their homes. Then that morphed into helping people organize their businesses. Through that, I became a virtual assistant. And within one of my virtual assistant jobs, a client needed a QuickBooks cleanup, which I had pretty much no idea how to do that. So I hired someone to help me to do that cleanup.
Kathy
And
Grosscurth.
yes,
Hi, Kathy.
and she did so great. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. I'm not a math person, but I discovered that bookkeeping is not about math. It's about organizing finances. So it really dovetailed in with what I did. And
And
that's
it's actually a really wonderful analogy that as a personal organizer and a QuickBooks, like, we had somebody come in and organize our office, and what they did is they showed up with all of these containers and a labeler, and they made containers for absolutely everything and put labels on it, and then we put all the stuff in those containers, and they all stacked really nicely, which is a perfect analogy to bookkeeping, because that's essentially what you're doing is you're taking every transaction and you're figuring out which bucket it goes in and then labeling it accordingly. And so to me, it makes perfect sense that that was your origin story
yeah.
of your
And
bookkeeping.
out of desperation, because I was stuck with a client who's I just didn't know what to do. And so I turned to one of the groups I belonged to, and Alicia was there and offered to coach me. And so I purchased at least 1 hour. I don't remember how many hours we spent on that one thing, but through that I got to know Alicia and bought the gold membership and wouldn't turn that away for anything at this point.
So what are the different ways that you use your gold membership with the Owls?
Number one way is totally take advantage of the hour that I get every month for mentorship. I have a lot of different types of clients, and therefore I have a lot of different types of client questions. And one thing that has been super helpful is that oftentimes when we're looking at a situation, you say, I've never seen that before. And that's done for me is it's really boosted my confidence, because it made me realize I don't have to know everything. I don't have to have been exposed to everything. So the number one thing is access to you through my hour, but also to be able to pop in there and ask a question either through the class discussions for the courses or just the membership, the community that we have in there. So those are the two biggest ones, but access to all of those courses that we have. It's amazing to have. Even if I just need one part of it, I can do a search and find, okay, I need to look at bounce checks. So type in bounce checks and find that section and review it again. So it's just like having a bunch of expertise plus a library right there.
Good. I mean, that was my original intention with the whole library, is to give people a reference library where they can look up the steps on how to do something. And that's also what I really love about the OWLS platform, and the way that I have it set up is that you don't have to take a whole course. If you're a member, you can just dive in and get the one little section that you need.
Well, and you talk about learning styles. I have them all. I need to watch it. I need to have hands on, but I have to ask questions. And there's also, some reading things that we can do, because you do the slide deck or the notes, and the book of course is available. So
Mhm.
I use them all.
Good. Well, it's cool that it's multi-channel for you then, that it hits you in just the ways that you need. And, for some people, they love watching videos. For some people, they like want to speed it up. And so you can even speed up and slow down the videos and like watch them really slowly or make them go really fast. And I sound like a chipmunk. Um, and Brenda's a regular. We have a regular monthly meeting on the third Thursday of every month from 1 to 2 o'clock. We're the gold and silver members. So it's specific to the silver and gold, not the bronze members. But everybody can come on as a group. And then we do a round robin, and everybody can pick my brain and pepper me with questions. And it's really cool because, I never know what we're going to get into. And the questions are always really, really different. Sometimes they're like you said, where you've got a problem in the client file and you're trying to figure out how to solve it. Sometimes it's about business development, and there's always that aha moment where I show that just that one thing that people didn't even know that they didn't know, and then it shows up 3 times the next week, and they get to use that information.
I've had a lot of different businesses that I've tried throughout my career, including freelance writing and all this kind of thing. And I have purchased platforms or courses or memberships before. And I can pretty confidently say that this is the one that has the most different ways, not just to learn, but to access the expert you. I mean, I have to ask questions, and I need you specifically to answer my questions. And most of the time, the other places, you might be able to get sessions with someone, but most of the time not. You've made yourself very accessible, and that's been, to me, that is the key to this membership.
Yeah. I mean, because we've been able to do our monthly meeting. And then if you've had special problems because you're a gold member, you get priority calendar so that you don't have to wait until like February to get a hold of me. And then we also have the forums. You are pretty active in our forums, asking questions whenever you have them, and I love seeing that.
Well, I think that's important too, because one of the ways that we learn best is when we teach. And so, being able to share the questions, but also you give your responses. And I think on one of my last ones, I had gone to someone else as well, and I found a different way to do it. So sharing that different people have different kinds of approaches to situations, and and that your availability was the primary thing that drew me to this membership, because there are other people who have memberships, but they don't have constant availability. That doesn't mean that, as soon as I pop in that I need to talk to you, you're there right then, but you're so much more available. And I appreciate it so much, because I get desperate when I don't know something. I start to panic. And the thing that I can say now is I panic a lot less, because I have all of our sessions are recorded. So all of these things that I ask you about, they're in there already. And so the way it's set up, when we record, you take notes on basically synopsizing what we've done, so that I can go back to it fairly quickly and fairly easily, and just do another run through of it. And I speed through them. But I also appreciate all the classes that are just out there and available. Oh,
Sorry,
coffee.
I'm having that coughing fit. um, and what Brenda's talking about is all of the gold members get their own custom course in the OWL. So in addition to the regular courses, I've got one that's like just Brenda's. And every time we meet, well, sorry, my throat's going. Every time we meet, I record our sessions so that she has a complete history of everything that we've ever done, and she can go back and rewatch those videos to see, how did we handle something a year ago? Or what was it that we did in this customer's file? And I think I don't know anybody anywhere who has a resource like that, and I think it's really cool that I was able to leverage the learning management system to create that kind of repository.
Yeah, and it's not just you that's teaching courses. You bring in guests all the time, and they're all experts that I see. They all have their YouTube channels or whatever, and I can get some questions answered. But you bring them in, and what I like best about that is that for example, you had Greg. Was it Greg with the nonprofits?
Greg Bosson. Hmm.
Yes. And I happen to all of a sudden be having all of these nonprofit clients pop up,
Hmm.
and I needed to learn specific things. So I looked at the session that you did with him, and realized that I would benefit from his actual course. So you get a taste of it, but you get enough of a taste to know what you're getting into, and again, worth every penny. I think one thing I want to say, when you're first starting a business or first breaking out, it's difficult to put out money. You don't feel like you're bringing in any money, and I know that every expert I've ever dealt with has gone into a mentoring program of some kind, whether they have a one-on-one coach or they do something similar to this. And I know I've been in the situation where you don't have a lot of money to invest, but there are some things worth investing in with education, and you need to invest with somebody who has a track record. You need to invest with somebody that is a known expert. So anybody that's looking at mentoring, just be really careful about what kind of coach you choose, and choose somebody that is truly the expert. Get referrals from other people, because there are people that don't know what they're doing. They think they do because they took a course, and they're selling a course, but there's got to be some history and background to that.
I totally appreciate it. It's been a labor of love. I started as a teacher of seventh grade English, and being able to actually teach professionals who are there to learn a skill that they want to learn is a gift to me. So all I can do is just be grateful that it's making a difference for you in your life.
Oh, completely. I've gone from um, making, well, I'm making the most money per hour that I ever had, if you break it
Hmm.
down that way. But we're transitioning our household where my husband's business is going away because of different things going on. I'm able to support our family without any kind of issue. Bookkeeping is the way to do it these days. I'm not a tax accountant, um, but the bookkeeping part of it, the people who need it, they really need it.
Hmm. And for me, it's been a treat working with you and getting to know you. That, as I got to know Brenda over time, one thing that I noticed about her is that she was always asked really good questions. That even if she didn't know how to solve something, she knew that there was an issue, which is actually the most important part, is knowing when there is something that you have to address. And so um, uh, uh, I actually loved working with Brenda so much. I loved the questions that she was asking, and she was such a quick study that I started bringing her in to RoyalWise to actually serve a lot of our bookkeeping clients. And so it's now a growing part of my own business. And so getting to know you has been fabulous, because you're now helping RoyalWise grow. And so it's been wonderful getting to this mutual benefit happening for both of us.
Oh, I completely agree with that. I have another person that I work with in kind of a similar situation. It's a partnership. Not, I shouldn't say partnership. It's a team.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're not partners as far as business partners go, but we're a team in that, can you handle this that I don't have time for, or this isn't my kind of thing, but will you go ahead and handle that, or just do this part? And I like that. That satisfies my need to be needed, but it also makes me less of an isolated person. I'm able to bounce ideas off of people. I get energy from you, and because you, when you are in the zone with me, you get excited about stuff, and I like, you know you talk about how we think alike on things, talking out loud, solving the problem out loud, talking through the process, and that energizes me. I don't feel so like I'm so out in left field all alone trying to do this business. It's a team thing, and I think the clients benefit because there's always somebody that's available.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it's been wonderful for me to be able to turn to you when I somebody comes to me and I don't have the time, but I know that it's something that you and I have done together before, and so I think we do make a really great team.
Yeah, it's really great when someone knows your skill level and your abilities and what you've been exposed to, because then if you have a client that's not in your wheelhouse, but you know that I can handle it, there's a referral. And I know you do that with not just with me, but that's
Mhm,
part of the thing too, is you've created the job board on Royal Wise, which is, I knew, is a new thing,
mhm.
and I think that's incredible.
Yeah. I just, with you and Porvi Gandhi, and there's some other people that, being able to really leverage a community together and really make a whole group of people who kind of work together and share referrals. I'm really looking forward to seeing our job board grow.
But you
And
can confidently recommend to people because you've worked with them all.
exactly, exactly. Well, thank you very much for joining me for live from the Owl's Nest today. Thank you for substituting for Jamie. I totally appreciate it. And so I want everybody to have a wonderful Hanukkah, wonderful Christmas, wonderful New Year's. And we will thank you for joining us today for live from the Owl's Nest. I'm Alicia. This is Brenda.
Brenda.
And we will see you in class.
Thank you.